Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk, all things audio in the plugin world here at Music Marketing TV. Thank you for joining me. My name is Carlo Libertini, and I am your host here. All right, I've got something really great. I'm telling you, Sonible did it again. They've just released Smartgate. Now, hold on, I know what you're thinking. A lot of people, a lot of producers and engineers like me either love gates or they hate them. And sometimes you have to use them. What Sonible did is build a bridge across all of these issues for everybody. This is truly one of the most innovative plugins I have used in years. It is a smart gate, super creative, and we're going to take a look at all those features here today. And I set up a couple examples where we can compare it to conventional gates so you can really see the benefit here, and we're going to push this to its extreme. Now, if you don't have any Sonible products, look at that. I just checked this for you. There's some really great promotions going on now. The links are in the description below, so definitely take advantage of that. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Become part of our family today here at Music Marketing TV. We love to have you. Have access to over 1,000 pro audio tutorials, all for free, from people like us who simply love what we do. Thank you and welcome. All right. Now let's get to business. What we're looking at here is Smartgate. Now, I have to stress this. This is not the gate that you grew up with. This is a whole new way of working with gates. And I think it's going to set a new foundation for gates to come in the future. Now, Sonible has a really unique method with all of their plugins here to create a target profile, and they've incorporated that technology quite brilliantly, by the way, with their gate function. Let's take a listen here, and why don't we dive right in, and then we'll talk about some of the specific, features and functions and how to use it as we use it in a real-world working scenario. So I have some audio here. Here's my friend Mike is singing. Let's take a listen so we can check our headphones at home.
Because it's beautiful.
Now I chose this because this is a live
Such a
artist
beautiful
with a lot of acoustic guitar bleed in her microphone. That's not a bad thing, but this would be a great example of how Smartgate can target vocals. That's right, because Smartgate is what's called a content-aware plugin. It's going to listen for the vocals and focus on that and help you gate out the unwanted audio, everything in between that. And this can be challenging, especially when you're working with acoustic artists as an example, but it just works great on drums, especially on drums and vocals. All right, now in a conventional gate, for example, let's open one up here in PreSonus. This would be really, really hard to try to gate out the acoustic guitar, but let's go for it. Let's try a little bit of these settings here. And then I'm going to compare the conventional gate with the amazing capabilities of Smartgate. So just by putting gate on here, let's see.
Because it's beautiful.
Let's start with the threshold, of course, and let's get some settings up here really fast. Attack, let's get a little bit, lessen up on the attack a little bit. In the hold, I think I'm going to leave that at 50 in the release. Okay, let's see where we're at right now.
Because
you hear it's choppy there?
Such a...
And if I push the threshold in a conventional gate, you'll see.
Because it's beautiful. Such a...
You hear the artifacts there? It's struggling because of the volume of the background noise. So a conventional gate probably wouldn't serve us here. But now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same process here with Smartgate. Let's turn it on. Now to get started, let's profile. From the drop down, I'm going to choose vocals. And now it's ready to listen to our audio. So what I'm going to do is start it right about there where the vocals come in. And it's going to profile this. And this is where the content-aware capabilities really kick in.
Because it's beautiful.
Just like that. Pretty fast, right?
Such a beautiful...
Now, we haven't tweaked the settings yet, so slow down. This is already amazing. It's separating out what isn't the vocals, in other words, the background bleed, the guitar, and it's no longer doing that weird pumping effect. And then you could tweak the settings to taste. So let's do that. All right, so I showed you how to profile this. You can see from the drop down, you could choose no target if you want just a general profile, vocal, speech, acoustic guitar, bass, keys, kicks, snare, toms, and hi-hats. So in generally speaking, it's preloaded to profile most of what you're ever going to need a gate for, and that's great. Okay, now let's get started with some of these parameters because I love the interface here. You'll see that in real time. As you manipulate these parameters to taste with our ears, it'll also reflect in the graphical display. Check it out. Let's say, for example, I wanted to start tweaking some of my parameters here. Let's talk about these. The first one we have is the level bias. Now, if you lower this value, it's better for more like non-transient stuff. If you raise it up, it's better for very transient dependent material like drums. So by default, it comes at 50%. And I would definitely recommend adjusting this to taste, but right now we'll leave that at 50%. And of course we have the attack time, which is gonna set how aggressively the gate comes in and when it closes. Our threshold, which is very important. Of course, this is gonna set the level of when the gate, starts to do its job, obviously. And then the release time, it's going to define really how quickly the gate closes when the audio falls below the threshold. Now, a longer release time keeps it open longer and shorter will close it, and you'll see in the real graphical display how it'll show you what it's doing with the release time. Really cool function there. And of course, we've got the hold, and this is going to define how long the gate stays fully open before the release kicks in, after it falls below the threshold. So let's play the audio back and you'll see the graphical display represent our changes in real time.
'Cause it's beautiful. Such a beautiful.
Look at that, in real time.
'Cause it's beautiful.
Let's bring it down to about
a very beautiful thing.
So in real time, you can see where it's dipping out. The content-aware application here that Sonible has pioneered with Smartgate and all of their plugins, which are just fantastic, defines a whole new kind of gating. It's focusing on the vocals only. Whereas you remember with the conventional gate, it was fighting with the volume of the bleed, which was rather loud. That's why I chose this example, and it was creating this weird like ducking staccato effect. But here it is smooth and really beautiful. Now for the release, I think I'm going to change my release. I want to make this longer.
'Cause it's beautiful.
The reason why I'm making it longer is because I want to capture the way her voice is softly dying down without chopping it off too soon. Now raise that to 600 milliseconds and it already made a huge difference.
'Cause it's beautiful. Such a beautiful.
I'm going to increase the hold just a little bit. Let's see, it goes up to 200 milliseconds. I'm going to put it halfway.
Because it's beautiful.
I like that. Here you go.
Such a beautiful.
Amazing. So as easily as that, again, I'm going to go back and we're going to play the conventional one because comparison is really good. Here's the same vocal passage with a conventional gate.
'Cause it's beautiful.
The acoustic guitar is completely coming through. Why? Because this isn't a content-aware. This is not a smart plugin like Smartgate is. This is a conventional gate. It does serve its purpose sometimes, of course, but why would you ever use this again when you now have the capability of having content-aware technology? Now listen to this one again.
'Cause it's beautiful.
Make sure we're not on the right one. Here we go. My bad. That again was the conventional gate we were listening to. See? Now, here is the Smartgate example, before and after.
Because it's beautiful.
So smooth.
Such a beautiful.
Letting pure vocals through.
Because it's beautiful.
And you'll see here in the real-time graphical display, it's showing you the background bleed, the acoustic guitar, in a different highlighted gray tone. I'm going to come up here to the difference signal. And by turning that on, I'm going to invert it now. So we're going to hear what's being gated. Pretty cool. I often love to compare what's being gated using the difference here. It's right here in the top right. You can activate it on and off. You know, because you notice you might catch a little bit of some breaths that you may want to keep, so you can lighten up on the threshold or the attack time a little bit. Maybe make the attack time a little bit longer. What if we took the attack time and we notched it up? I should have done this. Let's see. Let's bring it up just a little bit. I'll go up to 15 milliseconds. This is what the difference on. A little bit of a breath there. Now let's hear the vocals.
Because it's a beautiful, such a beautiful,
Beautiful.
because it's a beautiful,
Natural gate, smart gating.
a very beautiful thing.
Remember, this is being gated. Smart gated. Perfect. I feel confident now that I could use this in the mix once it's blended in with the acoustic guitar mics and such. So I chose this example because it was kind of a bit of an extreme example, but you can see the power here now. Now check this out. This is typical with most Sonible smart products. Here we have our states 1 through 8. I love this feature. We're obviously operating on state 1. I'm going to take this and drag it onto 2. Now what I've done here is made an exact copy of these settings. So I can now take those settings and I could try some different settings. Let's say in this version I want to bring the release down a little bit, maybe increase the hold here and the attack time and raise my threshold to about 60. So watch, here's state 1 and state 2. And I can now create up to 8 of these where I can A/B my work and even choose different states for different parts of the song. Let's try this now. Here's state 1.
Because it's a beautiful,
Now let's go to state 2, where I made some tweaks randomly.
because it's a beautiful,
Still sounds good. That's a good problem.
such a beautiful,
So maybe I like state 2 better and I could leave it there.
because it's beautiful.
And following that, we've got our presets. Now from here, we can now save this as a preset. Let's say I'm going to be working with this artist quite often, and repeatability might be a comfortable factor in there. I can now save this preset. I always encourage saving presets, creating your own presets here. It's kind of a nice way to jumpstart your work, but Sonible does make it super easy to profile quickly and get the effect that you're looking for easily as well, as you could see here. Now, we also can trigger this with the external sidechain, the detection mode right here. We've got mono or mid side. We could do the sides, or this is a mono file, or just the middle if you want. And then we've got gating and ducking, of course. I think this is great because gating will close anything below that threshold, and ducking will close anything above a certain threshold. So this is not only a smart gate, it's a smart ducker as well. So thank you, Sonible. It just makes things amazing to use and have fun. Let's try some different content here. So this was vocals. Now, remember, we did an example here with the conventional gating, and hopefully you can see the benefit and difference that the smart gating gave us in that extreme example. Let's mute these tracks and let's go to, yeah, this is perfect. We'll go to an acoustic guitar here. This happens quite often where you might have a click track. Let's take a listen here to this guitar example. So what we're hearing is a clean acoustic guitar and obviously a click track, either bleeding through headphones or somewhere in the room. Now, what I love about a Smartgate, a content-aware gate, is because as audio decays musically, you want to preserve that. You don't want the gate to shut that off. You want every little bit of that musical performance. And that's the difference here. Smartgate can allow you to do that because it's listening just to the acoustic guitar. So let's do this together now. Up in my target, obviously, what am I going to choose? Let's go to guitar acoustic. Now it's waiting to listen. Just simply press play. Let's go right to where it starts, right about there. Make sure I'm on the right one here. Oh, there we go. Let's activate Smartgate. That makes a big difference. I had it bypassed. Look how fast it did that. Now let's tweak some settings. Okay, let's move my threshold up a little bit. I'm gonna ease up on the attack. And now with the release, we can actually come down a little bit. You can make it tighter. Add a little bit of hold. I should point out that the tolerance here, let's see, set a tolerance range by dragging the line. So high tolerance leads to a smoother opening and closing of the gate. Tolerance by default is at 10%. If you want smoother, then obviously we can change the value from 100% to 10%. All right. I like that actually. So let's bring that up a little bit and so as the audio decays, it's still keeping the guitar there because that's what I want. And you do hear a little bit of the click track, but everything in between that is musically gated out and removed thanks to Smartgate. And remember, of course, you can drag this state 1 to any one of these other state numbers and try different parameter settings and then A/B through them just by clicking through them. Now we haven't got into the impact section yet. Down here we've got a reveal arrow. If I select this, this gets really, really, really good. We're definitely going to get into this. In my opinion, right here, the impact is a bit of a wet, dry fader. Check this out. You can actually adjust how much the Smartgate is impacting your content that you're working with. So again, it's set by default at 100% here. All right. Now there's 3 bands for suppression. You got low, mid, and high, and you can move these crossover points to taste, okay, from wherever you're working. Typically, I'm not sure what the default settings are, but it's, you know, it's not that hard to understand. You can actually turn each band on and off, and you can solo them. Just hear what's being affected in the mid, the lows, and the highs here within the range that you have set the crossover points for. And if you don't see that, again, here's the reveal arrow right there. So here's the impact slider, which in my opinion, again, is kind of a wet dry, which is pretty cool right there. So you can actually, the gate can behave differently. And this is, again, really amazing. It can behave differently on a per frequency band premise, which again is a whole new level of detail and professionalism, I should say. Let's try this actually out on something like our toms. Let's go to our toms and let's open up Smartgate right now and let's set some parameters here. Now, what we're going to do first is target our tom-toms Let's see, beautiful, right about there. Let's make sure our plugin is active right here. You can turn it on. It'll be different in your DAW of choice, but all I need to do is make sure that I activate it here in Studio One. Now let's go to toms and let's profile. Pretty fast, right? Okay, because we're working with tom-toms, let's have a little fun here. We can probably leave my bias the same. Remember, lower levels are good for non-transient and higher levels for more transient. So let's tweak it up a little bit. But again, here I have to do this to taste. The attack I will leave at 1 millisecond. Actually, let's soften that up a little bit too, obviously. And let's set the threshold release and the hold to taste. Okay. You know, I actually like this. Let's bring our tolerance to right about there. And let's get a little bit more of that release time love. And I'm going to leave the hold alone. Okay. Oh, it's beautiful. It's very smooth in Smartgate. Let's activate our differential right here so we can hear what's being gated. I love that feature. And I love how it's graphically represented here for us. And let's go back to what we're keeping, the toms. So by being content aware like that and focusing just on tom-tom energy, look at what we're able to do here. I love the way Smartgate handles decay, because it's all part of the whole process of musical energy. You know, the attack, sustain, decay, the whole release, everything that makes up the actual waveforms that we work with. As audio dies down, sure, you're still going to hear some of the background, but listen to how intelligent it is about it, because it's focusing on keeping what you're targeting, whether it's vocals, acoustic guitar, or toms in this example. Now let's open up our impact controls here. And let's set some crossover frequencies here. Let's say I wanted to work with, okay, let's go to probably right around 500 here. All right, let's work with some of the energy now. Let's boost our low. How far should we go? Just a little bit. And mid, I will leave at 0. And let's boost our high a little bit. And now let's take a listen. Let's turn off the low and the high. So you can hear how the background, some more of the background is the frequency zone here that we're working with the mids is being allowed. The other one, the lows and the highs are being allowed through, but nothing in that mid zone. That's why impact is so creative. Everything here between 73 and 500 in these settings is what's being gated, but everything below 73 and above 500 is being allowed to pass through the gate. So Smartgate is able to gate on a frequency basis. I can't stress that enough. Absolutely amazing. You can tell I've never been so excited about a gate before. Bear with me. But it's true. So if I wanted to adjust this now and say, yeah, you know, everything, I just want to let anything below 117 through and above 711 through. And the only audio that's going to be gated is what's between 117 hertz and 711 hertz. So if you deactivate all of these, all the frequencies come through. If I was to turn them on, then every frequency band is now going to be gated. And that is truly a Smartgate. So imagine that kind of detail where the impact controls now allow you to allow a certain frequency zone to pass through the gate, or just that frequency range to be gated. That is amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, by default, you're probably going to keep your impact value at 100%, but let's do it. Let's creep it up so you can hear the example. As I said, to me, it's kind of a bit of a wet dry. You'll probably mostly keep it at 100%. What's important to understand what that is and how it's working. All right, so we did some vocals. I thought that was a great example to show conventional gating and the benefit of smart gating with Sonible here. We did a little acoustic guitar stuff and some percussive stuff. Now, if you want to hide this feature, you can just close the window right there. You've got a reset button here, which will reset all the parameters to default value and bypass. A little tip for you, I think when I get to a place I really like this, I tend to always drag it on to another state. So if I do accidentally hit reset instead of bypass down here when you're in the zone and your mouse is flying all around your screen, it's good to have like a backup, if you will. Or again, the best backup is to save that information for you. Now you get some settings here too, and it works on Mac, PC, you name it. Sonible has really changed the way people are going to think about gates now. A smart gate like this isn't just a normal conventional gate anymore. It truly is intelligent. And hopefully from these examples, you were able to really understand the benefit of it. How, depending on the content that you're using and how you input what you feel you want, its behavior, the sky's the limit here. I will no longer think of gates the same way, and I don't think you will either. SmartGate is definitely something worth investing in, because when you need a gate now, there's only one to use, and that's a smart one. So thank you, Sonible. Thank you, everybody, for watching. My name is Carlo Libertini. Don't forget to check out the links below for more information. Like and subscribe. Become part of our family today. And stay busy and stay creative, everyone. Peace.